Joseph Hachem. Last year, he bested the biggest field in poker history, winning a record $7.5 million.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
His one victory made him the richest player in World Series history. But is he just another one-hit wonder? Now Hachem's back in Vegas, the site of his greatest triumph.
Yes!
To test his skills and prove he belongs amongst poker's elite.
I'm all in.
Establishing myself as a real player. It's very important.
Staring me down, you got nothing.
Standing in his way are two of the game's best who are looking to shut down the world champion.
They're going to have to think twice before they gamble with me today. The sight is set on winning. I'm not going to be happy with anything else.
Let me win a race.
26 players stand in his way. Is Hachem the real deal?
Woo!
Find out next.
Pass the sugar.
Welcome to the World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. We are at Bally's Casino in Las Vegas for this circuit stop, and this was the scene 3 days ago when Joseph Hachem made his arrival. Fans hoping to get up close and personal with the reigning world champion. He has waded through a field that began with 134 players and included some of the giants of the poker world. And now, as the final 27 players get ready for action, all eyes will be on Hachem to see if he can add to his poker resume.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron alongside Norman Chad. When Joseph Hachem won the main event last year, he took home $7.5 million. Yeah, he's got the money, but he wants respect, and he's back in Vegas seeking just that.
And Hachem's been running good of late, Lon, but we have two players here who've been running good forever, Jennifer Harman and Scotty Nguyen. Jennifer's so good, Doyle Brunson had to write a chapter in his super system, too. And if you were writing a book on poker's best, there'd have to be a chapter on Scotty.
There is the Prince of Poker, Scotty Nguyen. He's got 4 World Series bracelets overall.
Jennifer won a bracelet in 2000 and another one in 2002.
I'm a little short here. You have to cut me some slack.
Jen does have only about 20,000 chips. The average in the room just over 49,000. So yes, she has some work to do. Sitting at the table, her good friend Max Pescatore. On the Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam, he's got ace-queen offsuit.
Max makes a couple of mistakes, Lon, unnecessary headwear and eyewear, but I like him.
He raises at 2,700. Jen gives up her queen 10.
Scotty Nguyen actually claims to be one of the first people ever to wear sunglasses playing poker.
Wow. Lead Watkinson folds over to 22-year-old Ricky Zillum from Lubbock, Texas. King Jack.
Ricky is a 3-mistake man, Lon. He's got headwear, eyewear, and an FBI-style earpiece.
And he's got a lot of moxie, too, and he calls the raise to the flop. Queen, deuce, 9. Pescatore gets his queen. Zillum with a straight draw. Zillum checks.
And Pescatore decides he's going to sit on his queens.
Now the turn card is another queen. Trips now for Pescatore. And Jen would have had trips also, but with a worse kicker.
And she's good to be out of this hand.
Zillum checks once again. Now the fisherman, which Pescatore means in Italian.
Well, he's going to send out the rod and reel right now. He's not going to sit on the queens any longer.
How much is it?
4,400. Zillum sizes up Pescatore.
I raise.
Wow, Ricky's an old-time gunslinger in a 22-year-old's body. This isn't even a semi-bluff. He's only got a gut shot, and he's picked the wrong time for a bluff.
17-5 on a draw.
Already? You started it.
Max might end it, though, right here. But no big move, just a call, and Max will have the lead as we go to the river. Now the river. Oh, the 10! Zillum fills us straight.
Well, Zillum has picked the right time and the right place to get unbelievably lucky.
Oh, wow.
And Jen would have made a queen's full house if she stayed in.
Zillum trailed in the hand the whole way. Now earns the check mark. He can only lose this by folding, and he bets 30,000 to Pescatore.
That's nice.
Pescatore is dumbfounded.
And probably disgusted.
I think you got lucky on me.
I think you're right, Max.
I got lucky? Yeah, I think so. Wow. How's that? If I call, I'll show you. Don't call. Raise. Raise or fold. It's 30,000 even? 30,000. All right.
Max calls.
I got lucky in a sense. I got straight.
Lucky in a sense? What sense would that be?
What I figured.
And Ricky Zillum takes a pot worth over 100,000 chips and has Max Pescatore mumbling to himself. So Ricky Zillum, the senior at Texas Tech, picks up enough chips to move into second place on our Castrol chip count with 161,100. Max Pescatore was fourth. He's now off the charts. Scotty Nguyen in eighth place was 55,000. Now let's go out and see our chip leader. His name is Raid Abakartoumi from Huntington Beach. He is top dog right now, 39 years old, picking up an early pot in the outer tables. And there's the first look at our world champion, Joseph Hachem, in a hand right now with J.C. Tran.
And Hachem very conscious about proving himself here, and he's been playing very solid poker at this circuit event.
And Hachem will commit 3,500 more chips into this pot, and that will force J.C. Tran to fold, and so the world champion will take in some chips. He's got just about 40,000, which is below the average stack right now, but he's on the rise. And there is Doug Lee, winner of the Rio Circuit event, deciding whether or not to call an all-in bet of B.J. Hoover, who's a poker dealer there on the right.
If you have deuces, I want you to call me.
Better than deuces.
Doug says better than deuces, but he still folds. And now, action on John Smith.
I call you 5 deuces? I call 5 deuces.
And Smith indeed does have deuces.
Pocket deuces calling me, man. Where's my respect?
And Hoover flips over ace-king. He's in a coin flip for his tournament life. And now the flop, 10-6-7. Smith's deuces hold up.
Ace or king? Or runner and club?
Turn card now is a 4. Smith keeps his lead. Hoover has one shot left.
Ace or king, please, dude.
Yep, he needs an ace or a king, or Hoover is out of here.
And now the river card. Perhaps the last for Hoover. Oh, no, he got the king.
River king. Thank you.
Hoover stays alive with that miracle king. John Smith got unlucky there.
Dealers take care of other dealers.
Oh, it's a dealer conspiracy. I tell you, you cannot trust dealers.
Thank you, dealer.
Well, Hoover has already won an event here on this circuit stop, the six-handed no-limit tournament. Let's go back to our featured table. The blinds at 4 and 800. Jennifer Harman looking to make some waves and make some chips, as is Scotty Nguyen. And 5 deuce won't do it, I don't think. And he will give it up, as does Lee Watkinson. Now on Ricky Zillum.
Ricky Zillum doesn't need a surf to make waves. He likes to play a lot of hands.
I call.
In the small blind, he will make the call over to Richard St. Peter, the man they call Petco.
His nickname is Petco because he started Petco. That's an easy one.
He'll check his option from the big blind with 10-4. And the flop is 10-10-8. St. Peter with a beautiful flop. Trip tens.
So beautiful, Zillum is drawing dead. Ricky doesn't do anything stupid. And St. Peter decides to sit on his 3 tens.
And now the turn card is a deuce. That might keep Zillum a little interested in this hand.
That ain't much of anything. He now has a pair of 2s. Ricky again smartly checks. Boy, St. Peter's really sitting on these 3 tens.
Now the river card, a 4. St. Peter got a full house, but Zillum pairs both his hole cards now. He may think he loves the river, but he might come to hate it.
Still, Ricky just checks. He doesn't do anything stupid.
Now St. Peter bound to act here.
Yeah, he can't sit any longer. He's got to try to make some money.
800.
That's a very small bet in trying to induce a call out of Ricky.
Well, Zillum's got a rep of hitting some cards on the river. Maybe he's hoping the same thing happened here. And Zillum does raise to 2,500.
That is one frisky fella.
Now St. Peter.
St. Peter has virtually the nuts. He can only be beat if Zillum had a 10 and an 8 in his hand.
Now he's going to re-raise to 7,800.
Slowed that 10 all the way to the river?
Yes, he did. And you can't blame Ricky for raising on the river. There had been no action till then. He had to believe his 2 pair was good.
I can't call. I fold. I got 3 pair.
Ricky's got 3 pair. I like that. You know, Lon, that's the most pair you can have in Hold'em.
So a smart laydown by Zillum. Richard St. Peter wins the hand with a full house and takes some chips off the cocky Ricky Zillum.
Do you have a 10?
Yeah, deuce 4.
Don't rotor. I don't think you check. I didn't think you had any of that.
That's right, baby.
I try.
Ricky usually tries online. Live bait is a little
He's
different.
going real good on the rivers for me.
You remember, stay away from the river when you're against me.
Words of caution for the aggressive young players. Zillum would be wise to take them to heart.
The 2006 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Harris Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament. The World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Welcome back to Bally's Casino. Let's catch up with Doug Lee. He holds pocket queens and has called an all-in from Paul McGrill, known as X22, who has a straight and a flush draw after the turn. McGrill also has an ace and a lot of outs going to the river. The 7 of hearts was not one of them, and Doug Lee wins the hand and knocks off Paul McGrill in 27th place, our first player eliminated today at this Bally's Circuit event. And Doug Lee getting stronger and stronger. As I mentioned, he was the champion of that Rio event, and he is trying to back that up here with a win at Bally's. Now Joseph Hachem in the big blind, and a hand with Larry Wright.
Yeah, this is the most unstealable blind in poker. You know that.
You the big blind?
I'm the big blind.
How much would it take to steal it?
It's unstealable. They've actually written books about it.
There are a lot of poker books out there, Lon, but I don't think any of them talk about Hashem's blinds.
Right.
Yes, it worked. Haven't seen my cards yet, though.
Hachem toying with Wright. And Wright's going to raise at 4,800.
Hachem claimed he had the Brinks truck of blinds. It was more like a U-Haul rental.
If I move you all in, you call it?
I don't know. Well, tell me after you look, and I'll let you know.
Usually when you talk this much, you get rid of your cards.
And Hachem indeed folds to Wright. 5 months ago, Hachem boarded a plane in his native Australia to play in the World Series of Poker main event. The rest, as they say, is history.
I'd never been a celebrity before. I didn't know what to expect, really. I didn't even think about it.
Joseph Hachem will forever be known as a 2005 world champion.
When I got back home to Australia, there was a press conference at the airport. It blew me away. There was 30 or 40 journalists there, balloons and people chanting, and I got a really great reception. I was so focused on winning the bracelet. I didn't think about all the fringe things that are going to happen. And I thought, I'm not going to change anything in my life. But I was so naive. I was stopped everywhere. I had traffic lights, crossing the road, restaurants, being the world champion. I'm the face of poker for the next 12 months. My life has totally turned upside down, in a good way, in a great way actually. Here I am playing the circuit. I'm getting to live my dream with a big smile on my face.
Hashem's wife, Jeannie, and their 4 kids followed his main event progress on the internet, and they've now followed him to the United States. The family has temporarily relocated here as Hachem becomes a poker nomad across America.
All right, back to our featured table. Blinds at 6 and 1,200. Scotty Nguyen with aces. Or as he would say, aces, baby. And Scotty reaching for chips with those aces, and he's going to raise it up to 3,200. Action over to Ricky Zillum. Ace King of clubs.
Well, we saw he liked 4 deuce. Got to believe he loves Ace King of clubs.
Raise.
A re-raise. Scotty says, that's music to my ears, baby. And a re-raise to 13,500. Richard St. Peter folds. Jeremy Whitworth kicks it in, as does Dave Matthew. Now on to Max Pescatori, and he will not play. Back to Scotty now.
Raise.
Another raise, 20,000 more.
And when you raise Zillum, 1 earpiece always comes out.
I'm all in.
And all in.
And that would put Scotty all in, and Scotty with no hesitation.
Absolutely. So Scotty Nguyen will be the player at risk, but with the aces, he hasn't shown yet. Now Zillum knows he's in trouble.
I was afraid he had that.
Is that why you re-raised him all in? You know, Lon, you'll never hear me say, I knew he had what he had, because I never know what they have.
I've played against you. I know that is true. Our flop now, king, 5, 8, no clubs. Zillum pairs his king, though. He's got to do better than that.
One more, I'll give you $10.
Ricky on a limited budget.
It's never easy. It's never easy.
You know, all my win never easy, baby.
Tough life, this poker. Now the turn card. 5 of spades, aces up for Scotty, kings up for Zillum.
Ricky will need a king to knock out Scotty.
Give me a king.
And now the river card.
Well, Scotty says give him a king, and you'll have to give me a stretcher.
And it's another 5. Scotty Nguyen wins it.
Good hand, Scotty.
And he doubles up through Ricky Zillum.
30.
Why could he not have queens? I was hoping he had queens.
It's my chips anyway, so don't worry about it. All right?
I say, here come the youngster. Pick up ace, king of club. You know, baby, you remind me just me when I was young too.
Really?
I play, baby.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's, look at me now. That's a good thing. That's a compliment. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because the old day, baby, I have your hand like that. I would have bet my house, my wife, my girl.
He survived those early days, and Scotty is the Prince of Poker now. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. This Bally's Casino Circuit event continues. We see Joseph Hachem sitting this hand out. At his table, a familiar face, Hoyt Corkins, who finished second at the Tournament of Champions. He's in a hand with this man, Min Lai, who came in second to Doyle Brunson when Doyle won his 10th bracelet at the World Series. Corkins with a bet, and Lai folds.
I thought you was a loose cannon. You like to gamble a lot.
I'm looking at Min's hat and that shirt, and I'm no expert, but they just don't seem to work well together fashion ensemble-wise.
At another outer table, Stephen Hudak and Doug Lee saw a flop of 6 ace-4. We're not quite sure of their cards. Hudak raised pre-flop, and now he acts with 6,000.
He went to Maryland. I went to Maryland. Go Terps!
With the Terps again.
All in.
Doug Lee moves all in on Hudak.
He's a nice kid. He's got a nice shirt. Don't let him muscle you, kid. Play.
Lee's got Hudak covered. This would put Hudak all in if he calls.
Put him in.
And he folds, and Doug Lee flips over a Jack 10.
We got bluffed. We got muscled by Doug Lee.
Hudak was a runner-up at a World Series of Poker pot limit hold'em event. Doug Lee gets stronger at the outer tables.
We'll get the chips back. Good education always pays off.
All right, let's get back to our featured table. Jen Harman, though, has a better seat.
I'm hanging on. I haven't had any.
She's sitting on the lap of her husband, Marco Traniello, at the moment, bemoaning the fact that she is one of the short stacks.
They are America's couple, at least in the card room.
Zillum folded. Now Jeremy Whitworth folds, as does Matthew. Action over to Max Pescatore, and then Jen Harman has come back to check her hole cards.
Let's see if I can steal these two guys' blinds. Lee and Scotty.
And a couple of baby cards go in the muck. Scotty Nguyen with, aces again?
How much you got, Lee?
A little under 30. 28 to 30.
32 for my aces. Again.
3,200. He calls his hands out to Lee Watkinson.
Yeah, I mean, Lee, he just told you what he had. Now, 1, you're not supposed to do that, and 2, you can never believe anybody here.
Well, with a 5 deuce in the big blind, cost Lee 2,000 more. He'll make that call, so Watkinson and Scotty win to the flop. 3-10 king, couple of diamonds, nothing there for Lee Watkinson.
And Scotty slows down. Lee Watkinson was hoping to hit the flop. He didn't, so he's happy to take a free card.
To the turn, it's a 5. A pair of 5s now for Watkinson might keep him on the hook.
Scotty Nguyen now is going to decide to act with the aces.
4,000. And Lee Watkinson makes the call.
Well, Lee might figure Scotty has a couple of high cards, and Lee's pair of 5s might have a shot to be the best hand.
Now the river card is a jack, and Scotty Nguyen earns the check mark. And now he gets serious, 25,000, which would put Lee Watkinson all in.
Call that, you don't like no money.
If Watkinson does call this, he will have no chips left.
And Watkinson folds.
Look, I told him I got 2 aces.
Oh, man. Lee Watkinson, the strong, quiet type, will lick his wounds in silence.
I even tell him before.
Well, Scotty's strong, but he's seldom silent.
So 26 players left in this tournament. Only 9 will finish in the money. Our session will end when we are down to 18 players. There's David Pham going all in with pocket 7s. He's up against the pocket 10s of John Smith, deciding whether or not to call.
Seems like you and I always go down to the end.
These two probably had never met before this tournament, but Smith indicating they've made a fast acquaintance.
Smith makes the call. He's got the lead. And David Pham in trouble and his tournament life at stake.
All right.
John Smith with the 10s. Pham with the 7s. To the flop we go. 9, queen, jack.
A disaster flop for Pham. Smith's 10s are still good, and now he's picked up an up and down straight draw.
And it's a king on the turn, and that makes the straight for Smith.
And that's a knockout punch for David Pham. He actually would need a 10 on the river to make a straight on the board and chop the pot.
Pham already saying his goodbyes, but here's the river. Oh, the 10! Oh, the board will play. A king high straight on the board will chop the pot. Wow.
Wow.
Sorry, John. That's poker.
I knew he was going to say that's poker. Of course that's poker. We're not playing pinochle.
And a lot more poker to come from Bally's. Welcome back to Vegas and the World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Let's look at our chip count for this Bally's Casino Circuit event. Doug Lee is still on top. Scotty Nguyen in 3rd place. And look at Ricky Zillum, 112,000 chips in 4th position. And they just can't get rid of this rookie playing in his first major poker tournament. Scotty Nguyen now at pocket aces a couple of times, now with pocket 5s.
Just don't give me a hand, Jennifer blind.
It's almost as if he doesn't want to battle with Jennifer when she's in the big blind.
For her.
Player calls?
Huh? Just for you, baby. He said, don't give me a hand when you're blind. I looked out there.
Poor Scotty, you know my temper. You know I might beat you.
That's why I just called, baby.
Scotty just calls her big blind, and now it's up to Max Pescatori, who's in the small blind.
Max with pocket 4s. And he just adds an extra 600 and calls the big blind. Now over to Jen Harman in that big blind with king, queen offsuit.
I'm going to raise.
She announces a raise.
Jennifer senses weakness.
Raise 6,000.
And actually, neither of her opponents are all that weak.
And a raise to 6,000.
Just for Jennifer.
All right, he fakes the push and folds.
He must have used to play to tell the truth.
Out of Pescatori.
Just for Jenny.
He folds. Jen takes the pot.
Is there some special promotion this hour only to just hand Jen the pot if she raises?
Now I wish I was raised now.
I had a hand that I didn't want you guys to make a pair.
I had a pick.
Oh, you did? Well, you had the best hand.
Me too.
You had a pair?
2-5.
We both had the best hand.
2 5s?
But I had lots of overs.
Now, it's not often that Scotty Nguyen gets pushed out of a hand. The Prince of Poker has parlayed his skills on the felt to fame and fortune, baby.
In Vietnam, I always dream about Vegas. My mom, my dad got to sell almost everything they own just for me and my younger brother come over here. You know, we're looking for freedom. My first job started out was busboy, and every day after work I walk by the poker room and I stand there and I watch people play. I just want to learn the game. I don't speak much English that time, but all my friends take me under their wing. You know, I learned the game from them. After work I play poker a lot. I was so smooth with the game, and I think I won like 3 straight months. Can you imagine that? 22 years old, walking around with lots of money in my pocket, and I never look back. I'm just so glad I end up in Vegas. God give me that strength to go out there. I know one day people will recognize Scotty Nguyen. You know, he came from Vietnam. I am American dream, baby.
Scotty wasn't always so pleasant around the table. He used to throw cards and curse at the dealer, but says he learned how to act around a poker table from 1986 World Series main event champion Barry Johnston, who's one of the true gentlemen in poker.
All right, there is Doug Lee, our chip leader. He's involved in a hand with Rick Chase. Chase with a suited ace-10, Lee with queen-10 of clubs. As they go to the flop is 9-9-ace. Ace is up for Chase. 2 more clubs for Doug Lee. Action on Doug Lee. He checks.
Chase, a 56-year-old World Series veteran from Malibu, California.
And he will check to the turn, and another club. Doug Lee with the flush on the turn.
We have learned that Doug Lee lives on the turn, lives on the river.
Lee checked, now Chase with a pair of aces goes for 10,000.
It's a dangerous spot for Chase. And Doug Lee is going to raise him.
Yeah, indeed. He makes it 30,000.
Lee in a good position to get a call because Chase does have the aces with a good kicker.
A big raise from Lee now.
All in. Call.
Doug Lee calls, Chase is all in.
And Chase is probably kicking himself for not betting aces up on the flop.
Wow.
He'll have to fill up against Lee or he's going home.
9 or an ace. Wow.
One card to come, perhaps, in Chase's tournament life.
Chase needs an ace or a 9 or his tournament is over.
And now the river card. It's a 6 and his tournament's over. Rick Chase eliminated in 25th place by Doug Lee. Chase falls hard and seems a bit overwhelmed at this point that his ace is up. We're not good enough.
I never expect Doug Lee to have a lot of chips in front of him, and he always does.
Indeed, he has extended his chip lead here at Bally's. He's got over 220,000.
The World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Back inside Bally's Casino, 24 players left. We'll play till we get down to 18. There's Joseph Hachem at one of the outer tables. The Aussie about to act after the river against Min Lai. And Hachem reaching for chips, bets 4,000.
Trust me, there are certain bars in which Min Lai does not want to walk into with that cowboy hat.
And Lai will fold under the pressure of the world champion, and Joseph Hachem takes another pot, and he has been slowly creeping up our Castrol chip count. Right now, Hachem finds himself in 8th place, 57,000 chips, just slightly above the average in the room with 24 players left. Doug Lee is still our chip leader with almost 194,000. Back at the featured table, young Ricky Zillum on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Queen Jack. Zillum calls the big blind, which is at 1,200 right now, and over to Jeremy Whitworth, 28 years old from Michigan. A couple of deuces.
Raise.
And he raises it up to 5,200. Next in line is Max Pescatori, and he says, too rich for me, and gives it up. Jen Harman now will fold, as does Scotty Nguyen. Now the raise back to Zillum. And he will make the call with his Queen Jack.
Zillum has been the X factor at this table. No one ever knows what he really has.
Pair of deuces are still best after the flop. Whitworth still leads. Zillum checks. And Whitworth pushes in 7,000.
He's figuring that flop probably did not hit Ricky.
Ricky's not going anywhere, and he will make the call.
That would be a loose call that Ricky would make.
Now the turn card is a 7. Still no queen or jack that Zillum is betting on, and he checks again.
The board gives us some straight possibilities out there. And again, Whitworth doesn't want Ricky to draw to a potential straight, and he is going to bet.
13,000.
How much more you got?
How much more do you got? Now, the kid's starting to grow on me. It happens at every circuit event line. I get sweet on somebody. What are you going to do, Ricky? Raise them all in with Squadouche?
I call.
He's determined, but nothing on the board.
Another loose call. He's just hanging around, and maybe he's calling to bluff at this thing on the river.
Does he see anything out there that worries him? I guess not. A queen. There it is. Ricky Zillum. Stubbornness pays off, and he pairs his queen on the river.
That's a bit absurd.
Oh, wow.
Ricky making sure he has the queen.
And Zillum does have the check mark.
Queen Jack offsuit usually is a ticket to Palookaville. Ricky's taking it someplace else.
25,000, and Whitworth is taken aback.
Yeah, both earpieces come out, and he is now exasperated by Ricky.
Trying to read the rookie.
What'd you slow play, Ricky?
You want to see?
Got a call to see probably, huh?
You can raise and see.
Yeah? Well, I think you pretty much got me. What'd you just bet?
25. 25. Lay it down. You got plenty of chips.
The problem for Whitworth is that he can only beat a bluff, and if he calls this and loses, he'll be left with just a couple of thousand in chips.
Tough decision, man.
I call.
Oh, boy. Whitworth's going to hate himself. Or maybe just Zillem.
Can I see the other one? Yeah, that's trash. Nice hand, Ricky.
Zillem cripples Whitworth.
And he's got Whitworth walking in circles in disbelief that Ricky has sucked out again.
He is speechless. He doesn't know what to do with this young kid.
You know, I think after people watch this show, we're going to have like 3,000 entries for next tournament. If you win.
I'm trying to steal pots at the wrong time, apparently, but the river's saving me.
It's truly great advertisement for poker.
I mean, how do you call that on the turn?
To steal on the river. I know when you're weak.
Come on, Ricky.
You call on the river with deuces, bro.
Apparently, there was method to Ricky's madness.
Deuces? I don't get that much. I get that little credit. Deuces?
You get that little credit. You're going to continue to get that little credit if you call with Queen Jack to the river, man. That's twice. That's twice.
Now, despite winning the hand, Ricky gets no props from Whitworth, who considers Ricky a lucky amateur. But if you ask Ricky about his skill level, he'll set you straight.
I've been playing poker for about 9 months. I think I'm fairly advanced. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I can hang with the best of them. I know how I play, and I always know how I want to play, so first time that they think I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to surprise them.
I'm staying away.
These guys are huge names, have tons of money, all these wins, but I'm not going to step up to the table and be the rookie. I'm going to step up to the table and try to take charge of it. These guys aren't going to back down from me, and I'm not going to back down from them. I want to be the best at everything I do. To be the best, you have to beat the best.
Ricky is scheduled to graduate from Texas Tech in a month. One piece of advice, it's tough to bluff your way through finals.
You're right, it was stupid to go that far with deuces anyways, you know.
Whitworth making up with Zillem?
Stupid, you had 80% favor.
Well, I felt like that, but a lot of help it did me.
But not against Rivermaker.
Exactly.
Max gives Ricky a new name.
All right, so Jeremy Whitworth, short stacked.
I'm all in.
And with ace-4, he is all in.
His problem is he's still thinking about the last hand, and he's got to worry about this hand.
Another pocket pair for Scotty.
You're going to bust me, Scotty? If anybody's going to do it, I'd appreciate it if you do it.
You don't want me to?
Hell no. I'm a little salty at you right now, Ricky. I'll get over it.
Understandable. Understandable.
I'm not going to do that for you, baby.
Scotty makes the call, and this is our degree all-in moment. Whitworth at risk.
All right, baby. See, I'm going to take your hand. I have a very, very small pair. I got a lot bigger pair than
Then I only got one. Oh, I got 2 over? Oh, my God. I thought I only had 1.
Well, Whitworth's got 2 overs, but he's about to go under unless he gets a little luck.
You're welcome, baby.
Scotty with the advantage with the small pair right now. And now Whitworth, very interested in this flop. And it comes out 7-6 Jack, and that misses Jeremy.
Well, if it's any consolation, at least it is going to be Wynn knocking him out and not Ricky.
Whitworth in trouble still. We go to the turn. Folks are trying to send him off already.
Pouring dirt on the body before it's cold.
It's over.
Now I'm really rooting for you.
It's
Center
over.
court, that's court 2.
I got you.
He's become a crowd favorite now. A little too late in his tournament life. King and Scotty's threes are still best.
And for Whitworth now, it comes down to an ace or a 4. Without an ace or a 4, he's going home.
Now the river card. It is a queen. Scotty Nguyen earns the degree checkmark. Jeremy Whitworth is eliminated in 24th place from this Bally's Casino Circuit event.
And Whitworth decides to make his peace with Ricky.
Jeremy, tell Ricky, you know, I'll kill you later.
For me.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree for Men. Protects men who take risks.
Elizabeth, Indiana, population 137, known for 2 things, farming and basketball. But the name of the game was poker when the World Series circuit came to town at Caesars Indiana Casino, doubling the town size. Final table featured none other than the master, Men Nguyen.
Nice hand, sir.
Who found himself heads up against top pro Vinny Vin. The master was facing elimination with 1 card to come. But was saved on the river.
I don't want to talk to you.
Tensions ran high between the 2 pros.
I don't want to talk to you.
But when the dust settled, it was Vinny Vin who got the last word in, collecting the Indiana Circuit Championship. Joining the featured table now is John Smith, who actually finished 8th at that circuit event in Indiana, but this highway contractor still remains a mystery in the poker world.
Who is John Smith?
John Smith?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm a highway contractor. We make people mad for a living. We get them down to one lane. We reconstruct their roads. We make them happy in the end, but not in the beginning. I've been playing poker for 45 years. This is my first year playing in the tournaments. Some people call me a rookie, but I don't consider myself a rookie. They don't know me and they don't know what I'm going to do.
I call it.
If you set up a pattern, people will pick up on that. You have to be inconsistent to win. I entered the 5-star diamond at Bellagio. I was chip leader for a while. All I heard was, "Who is John Smith?" I've been to 6 final tables this year. People still don't know who I am. My name is John Smith.
John Smith, please. This guy is wanted in 12 states for knocking over a string of convenience marts. At least be creative with your alias, buddy.
Ricky Zillum as we continue here at our featured table. Ace-6 suited at hearts. Zillum, I'm sure, love his ace, and he'll just call the big blind. Oh, what's his name? With 7 deuce offsuit, folds. And over to Max Pescatore. Ace-10.
River maker call?
Yes, sir.
River maker call. Max is a hoot and a holler.
Whereas now I can't see a river.
No. I'm going to raise on the turn because you can't raise. The river is the only one I'm afraid of.
Max calls the big blind over to Jen Harman now in the small blind. Desperately looking for some good hole cards. She's got King Queen. Pocket paint to play with. And she will make the call. Scotty Nguyen is in the big blind with a 10 and a 5.
Well, Scotty with the big blind special.
You, baby.
Fakes the raise.
He is happy to see a flop for free with 10-5 offsuit.
No raises in front of Scotty, so 4 to the flop. No pocket pair. And here we go. Jack 3, ace rainbow. Zillum and Pescatore holding a pair of aces.
Max with the better kicker. Jennifer checks her straight draw.
Scotty checks.
Man, I'm going to have to see a river.
Zillum will check to Pescatore.
If you wouldn't have said that, we would have gotten a free card. You scared him.
Jennifer wanted a free card. It won't happen.
Pescatore bet 3,000.
I was trying to tell him I got to stay in.
Scotty folded. Zillum makes the call with a weak ace.
Give me a diamond.
Yeah, if you had a diamond draw, that would be nice.
It's an 8 on the turn. No help to Zillum. Pescatore still with the lead. Zillum checks. Now, this is where Max said he was going to bet. But he checks.
Here comes the river maker.
Now the river card is a queen.
Hey. Oh. Ricky's a hoot and a holler.
Pescatore earns the check mark.
Ricky pretended like he hit something. He didn't hit something, but he's going to bet.
Oh, he's got a pair of aces. He bets 3,000.
That is a suspicious bet. It's like it's begging for a call.
Max calls.
I had the ace. Yeah, good.
And Pescatore says, no good. I've got the better kicker.
That's fine.
So sweet revenge for Max Pescatore, who recovers some of the chips he sent over to Zillum. And the river maker comes up dry that time.
The 2006 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Harris Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament.
Welcome back inside Bally's. To the outer tables we go. Rick Solomon has put all his chips in the middle with pocket nines. He was called with the pocket aces of Keto Fam. We're going to the river. Solomon looking for another 9 to stay alive.
Is that the Rick Solomon from the Paris Hilton video?
So I've heard.
Oh.
The river card is a 7, and that means the end of the run for Rick Solomon, who has been eliminated in 21st place. Keto Fam now becoming a force in this tournament. He has over 125,000 chips. Back now to the featured table with the blinds at 800 and 1,600. Jennifer Harman has not had much to play with today and throws those cards into the muck. Scotty Nguyen now. Pocket pair again. These are 8s. Scotty is going to raise it up to 5,000.
This table is full of tough pros, plus Ricky Zillum and the alleged John Smith.
Well, he's tough now with pocket aces and the big blind.
I guarantee you he is wanted by the law.
And Smith is going to make a raise to 15,000 with those aces and the big blind. You like that move?
I tell you, he's not even a highway contractor. I know what highway contractors look like. He's not one.
Scotty Nguyen is going to make the call with his eights, but do you like that move?
Oh, stop pestering me. Yes, I like the move.
There's the flop. It is ace-7-4, another ace for John Smith. He's got this hand all but one, and he checks.
He'll sit on those three aces. Look at the percentage for Scotty right there. 1%. That's not good.
Scotty's going to come up now with 7,000 chips.
Well, Scotty figures if John Smith didn't hit the ace, then my pair of eights are probably good.
Testing the resolve of John Smith, who is playing coy right now.
Very coy. Smith doing a good job, pretending as if he has nothing.
He could have pushed, but just a smooth call from Smith. Smith in command, going to the turn now. And it is a 5, and that opens the door for Scotty a little bit.
Yeah, but actually that's a great card for Smith. He now has the nut flush draw. Scotty has made a straight draw.
Smith checks again.
Well, Scotty's going to double check his whole cards, probably to see if he has a heart in there. He does not. He's got a pair of eights and a straight draw.
Smith double checking his cards, maybe trying to play the role of rank amateur.
Well, I'm surprised he's not looking over his shoulder for a copper.
Tough decision for Scotty Nguyen. And Scotty is going to commit 15,000 chips with that medium pocket pair.
In Scotty's mind, I believe he wants a call here. I believe Scotty thinks he has the best hand right now.
Smith, now he jumps at it all in.
Well, I don't think Scotty wanted an all-in right here.
Oh, boy. I think Scotty has a different opinion of John Smith now.
I might try and dead.
Scotty fears he might be up against a flush right now, can't win the hand.
And I don't want to embarrass myself.
Well, Scotty's saying, if I didn't have to turn the cards over before the river, I might play. But since it's an all-in, he'd have to show his cards now, and he doesn't want it.
I hope you got 3 aces or something.
Wow.
He's good.
This is embarrassing, man. Like 3-8. I wish I had 3-8. What the cards so fast.
Smith has Scotty really second-guessing himself.
There might not have been a moment in which Scotty didn't think he had the best hand until Smith went all in.
Where you from?
California.
I love California. All right, you'll take it.
Scotty folds it.
No matter where you're from, he was going to love it.
I love California, baby.
Well, John Smith played those aces beautifully and took a nice pot down from Scotty Nguyen. One more player to be knocked off before we complete this session, and there we find world champion Joseph Hachem. He has moved all in. He holds ace-king. His last 50,000 chips in the pot, 6-6 ace on the board, and Keto Fam deciding whether or not to call.
The world champion could be knocked out here if Keto Fam calls the all-in and beats him.
I call.
And Keto Fam does call. Hachem flips over ace-king, hoping it's best.
Show me ice queen.
You drawn dead. I guess 4-6.
And Keto jokingly tells Hachem he's got quad sixes, but indeed he has ace-king also.
And no flush possibilities out there. This is going to be a split pot. The turn and river cards are meaningless.
So Hachem, with a sigh of relief, he will survive to play another hand with a split pot. Now B.J. Hoover moves all in with ace-jack against our chip leader Doug Lee.
I call.
And Doug Lee calls him down with ace-10 of hearts. Hoover at risk, but has Lee dominated.
Lee behind, as usual, I claim.
Had the best hand, I think.
14.
You'll find out he doesn't.
1.
That's no good, FH Jack, buddy.
Tens, which is my favorite number.
It was a 10 that Lee got on the river to win the Rio Circuit event.
Best hand. I always go in with best hand.
That's an amazing feat to always go in with the best hand. That ties the all-time record held by Phil Hellmuth, I believe.
All right, here we go now with Hoover all in and with a more than a 2-1 advantage. The flop is queen, deuce, 5, 2 hearts.
Wow.
Lee with a heart draw.
Hoover still holding on.
No more hearts. No more hearts.
Ignore those percentages. Doug Lee, a clear favorite to make a heart on the turn of the river.
Wait, no, not deuces. Deuce, 3.
Now the turn card is a 10.
Oh my
Lee
God,
pairs
man.
his 10 and has the advantage.
You wonder why that's Doug Lee's favorite card? Unbelievable.
Or Jack.
Hoover's picked up a straight draw.
King hearts. Wow, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Hoover got unlucky on the turn. He's looking to be lucky on the river. He needs a non-heart, king, or jack, or he's done.
River card is a 3 of clubs, and Doug Lee wins it. And with B.J. Hoover's elimination, we have our final 18 players here at Bally's Casino. And Doug Lee rakes it in. He has extended his chip lead.
Do I know Doug Lee or do I know Doug Lee? He's never behind. He just appears to be.
A day that began with 27 players saw new characters emerge, with rookie Ricky Zillum now third in chips.
I got lucky in a sense. Half straight.
We saw the pros hold their own and march on, and saw Doug Lee dominate and become chip leader.
Oh my God.
And we saw world champion Joseph Hachem move into 9th place, continuing his quest to prove his poker prowess.
Unstealable.
18 players remain. We'll see you next time from the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.